That's as much turn as I can get. If I let that go, obviously I can achieve a lot more turn. Okay. Hey golfers, and welcome to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be real. We're going to talk about range of motion, mobility in terms of your golf swing. You know, we look at guys like Rory and Tiger, and in reality, we can't expect ourselves to move the way that they do. And I get a lot of messages on Facebook and YouTube asking, can you make one for maybe senior golfers or golfers who find it hard to get a complete backswing or are losing a lot of speed and not getting the distance that they want? So we're going to cover that in today's video. We're going to start from head down to toes, look at a couple of things that you can do in your golf swing to try and encourage yourself to have a bigger, better backswing, and also open up that range of motion as well, and potentially gain some club head speed as well, which will obviously make the game that little bit easier. Okay guys, so welcome to the channel. If you haven't done so already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let me know in the comments if there's anything that you need help with. I'm more than happy to help you out. Let's get started. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the swing speed as a test to see if this stuff is working. So we'll kind of start with me hitting a normal 8-iron. We'll check the speed and we'll see if some of these things that I change and some of the things that I see golfers doing a lot to really restrict that range of motion drops the swing speed. So I'll hit a normal one here. .80. Okay, so that's our benchmark. Granted, I'm not warmed up. It is quite cold here. Cup of coffee there keeping me warm. Okay, so there's a kind of a baseline, right? Now, what we're going to talk about in terms of increasing this range of motion and encouraging swing speed and getting a better turn and making it a lot easier on your body is going to be pretty much the backswing, okay? And a couple of these setup things that we'll do as well. But first, let's talk about things that I see that really, even from setup, inhibit the ability for people to get this big turn. Again, particularly senior golfers, not just senior golfers, but golfers in general, because we all kind of spend our time maybe driving in a car, at a desk. All of these things aren't very conducive to good, big, powerful golf swings. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the things that I see that really inhibit this. So as I said, we're taking this from top down in the things that I see, okay? Number one, and this is a really important one. I'll get to how to fix these things and what I actually want you to do when you're hitting shots. But number one, I'll see the head dropped quite down. Now, that in itself, if I push my chin down into my chest, I can't turn the same way I could if my head was up. As I say, I'll get into fixing these in a minute. But that's number one thing I'll see, okay? And as we bring this down, then we talk about shoulders. A lot of people try and get the left shoulder to turn. Again, what that does, I see a lot of times, you can't complete your full rotation. The left shoulder is moving across, and you'll typically see the right shoulder is not getting a complete turn. So that's a big one, a really big one actually. I see that a lot. Okay, left shoulder across is not what you want to be thinking about to improve your shoulder turn. Okay, let's bring it down to the hip. This kind of goes in line with the foot, the knee, and the hip. So the right leg. Basically, when someone sets up to a golf shot, you might see the right foot turned in or quite straight. And what this does, internally rotates the hip. If I do this, it's very difficult for me to make any amount of hip turn. I'm trying really hard there, but my foot won't let me, okay? That obviously then would inhibit the amount that I can turn these in the backswing. Can't turn these as much, I can't turn this as much, okay? So that's another one. Whenever we also see golfers at the top trying to keep the right knee bent or braced, okay, that can feel quite powerful, but unless you are incredibly flexible in from here to here, you're not going to be able to get, if I bend that knee, that's as much turn as I can get. If I let that go, obviously I can achieve a lot more turn, okay? So these are some of the common pitfalls that I see. We're going to talk about now how to fix those. First of all, I want to do all of those things in a collective, and let's look, and I will put the same amount of force into this. Let's look and see what the swing speed does. So we have head, chin into the chest, foot turned in, trying to turn with my left shoulder this way and brace the right knee. And try and coordinate all this. Okay. definitely much harder to swing. So 75.6, okay? You'll see how, hopefully, with all these other things that we're about to do, we'll be able to bring this speed up higher than the original 80. Okay, so let's take a look at what those things are. Okay, so we know golf is a game of opposites. So what can you do? Lift your head, use your right shoulder, let your legs straighten and turn your foot out. Yes, those are the things, but let's talk a little bit more detail on how to do it. So this will really help you increase the range of motion. So number one, let's start with the head. In the setup position, remember, we're not going for down here because that restricts our turn. We're going to lift it up. And I know my coach used to describe to me, I think it's called varifocals, you know, the glasses, as if when you're looking down the bottom of them to read. He said, imagine you're looking at your golf ball out the bottom edge of your glasses. If you wear glasses, that's great because this will help. If you don't, imagine that you are. So we're here and we're looking, we're keeping that chin up, okay? Creating space now to turn. We're not cooping ourselves up, okay? Number one, pretty straightforward. Number two, when you're trying to turn your shoulders, this is where I see people not getting the full amount of turn, is because they think of left. I want you in your setup position to think about getting the right shoulder back behind you. So I'm trying to push that right shoulder way over here. You'll see how much more rotation I'm actually able to get. And try it yourself, even with your arms across your chest. It'll feel much freer than trying to just turn your left. You got to get the right shoulder back as far as you can, okay? You'll feel the stretch and that's good. Don't hurt yourself. All right, so we've got head up, right shoulder going back instead of left going across. That's number two. Number three, from the setup position, what we want to do is get foot flare with their right foot. If you're somebody who really struggles with this and cannot get a backswing, can't get turned, can't get hips turned, anything, obviously really tight in the body, well then don't be afraid to turn that out quite a lot because that will really free you up to be able to turn. The more these turn, the more the shoulders can turn. So just a little bit of that, head up, that's flared. This already, right shoulder back, will really help you create a bigger turn, longer swing if that's what you need. All right, now here's the last piece because we're sure you're like, get to the point, I want to see if you swing it quicker. So turned out, now in the backswing, we've got all these things, head up, shoulders back, foot's turned. We're going to let the legs straighten. And I know that's contrary to some sort of textbook things from back in the day, but let it straighten. One thing you don't do is go, if you're anything like me and you like to wear a good quality leather glove when you're playing golf, but don't fancy the high price tag, well, go and check out my channel sponsors page, gxgolfgloves.com. Really good quality glove at a fraction of the cost. Use code David at checkout and you'll save yourself a nice little bit of cash as well. Straight away. It's a gradual thing. So as the club starts to move, the foot's turned, this is gradually straightening. Now as that's straightening, what's happening? My right hip is going back, okay? So we're straightening the leg slightly. Don't slam it. It's gradual to the top. And if it's straight at the top, that's fine, right? Hip is coming back. Right shoulder is going back. I'm going to get a much bigger turn, heads up out of the way. And hopefully we will see the speed increase, all right? Try these things. Honestly, it will really, really help you if you are that golfer who struggles with mobility, or potentially the senior golfer where you see your swing speed is just lower than it should be. And you're a golfer, you're sort of, I see guys, 6'2", and they don't swing it fast. Like, why? Because they're not getting that range of motion in the backswing. All right, so here's the test. I'm going to try and coordinate all this. Let's see what I'm like now. So, foot's turned, heads up, shoulders going back, right hip's going back, that leg's allowed to straighten. Trying to get as big a range of motion as I can. Try that one more time. It's really something I should do. Toed that. 84, okay? I swung faster at that, but I was able to because I had that bigger range of motion. Okay, so honestly, give it a go. You can see there we had 80 as my stock. I was able to pick speed up by incorporating these things, and the other one with my head down, limiting my range of motion much slower. Okay, guys, so let me know in the comments if this has helped you. If you've enjoyed today's video, please don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let me know in the comments if there's anything I can help you out with, and I'll see you guys in the next one.